Okay, thank you for asking. I'm a professional. We're gonna be professional now. We have to have some goof time, otherwise it's no fun. All right, y'all. Welcome. I know we all know each other, but bear with me. I'd love to hear your name. And if the holidays are complicated for you, maybe something you're looking forward to other than the holidays. Or your favorite thing, favorite tradition. Does not have to be Christmas. It could be anything you like. My name is Kirstie, and a fully made up tradition, but Lacey, you know, the red envelopes you get. For Chinese New Year, we get happy landing money, which is like just a good omen to, and it's always like, you know, $10, $20 or something, just to like, you know, usually in the currency of the country you're going to, just to like, yeah, just, it's totally made up, by the way. It does not actually exist. My family made it up and I'm totally into it. So that's my favorite tradition. Let's go in order. Let's go Meg and then Phoebe.
Hi, I'm Coach Meg, and my favorite tradition is drink the day after Christmas now. Just kidding. I mean, I think it could. I think it definitely could.
Especially when it's at a reasonable hour.
I think my favorite Christmas tradition is stockings kick presents butt.
Yeah.
So I definitely put more time and effort into stockings. So
Fair enough.
I think she disagrees, but she can.
My name's Phoebe. My favorite tradition is Coach Meg going to Mexico for Thanksgiving.
Because you get rid of me?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Nice, Phoebe.
Go ahead, Maxine.
I'm Maxine. Favorite traditions. I think probably making cookies with my daughter. It's something I've done for a really long time. Now I've gotten her into it. So yeah, I think that's probably it. And watching Doctor Who. We watched the Doctor Who Christmas special last night. It was really fun.
Ooh, which one? Like
It's
Doctor Who.
with the brand new doctor that's starting, and I know. Yeah. He's pretty good.
Too. We know that.
Yeah, he's amazing. Anyway, if Andre's there, you can come play. I guess we're on. Well, or on his. So we'll do both of you. Let's go, Kelsey first.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. My favorite Christmas tradition is my family goes to sushi every Christmas Eve. We've been going for like a decade, and this place like doesn't take reservations, but now they do, and they're always like, "Oh, you're the big group that comes every year with like 14 people."
That's awesome. Also kind of random, but I like it. Sushi. I dig it.
Andre here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He feels like an imposter, like he's not
You're
allowed to.
not an imposter.
Oh, it's totally open. You're totally welcome. We want you. Join us.
What's your Andre? What's your
Okay,
favorite holiday tradition? Does not have to be Christmas.
Well, you know, we don't celebrate Christmas in Russia, so we don't really have any tradition. But New Year's is big. And yeah, I think I'm really excited. I'm gonna cook something like Russian for New Year, something.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm not sure Kelsey's excited, but you are. That's good. Okay, good. I was just that face. I couldn't read the face. Last but not least, Arisa, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Arisa. This was the year I just blew through having no traditions, and the only thing I did was sleep in.
That's excellent.
My son is older and he doesn't care, and he's still snoring in his room. So yeah.
Solid tradition.
Sleeping in, excellent idea. Highly recommend. I'm glad we all got a chance to get a few hours of sleep, I hope, or more. I'm going to go ahead and post the workout. Again, don't feel like you have to refer to it. It is just kind of a contact point if you need a visual or like you like to read your workouts. And we're going to go ahead and kind of do a similar thing than last week. I know Reese, you were there last week, but we can add some complexity if we need to. And we're going to be doing some single leg work again, all that good stuff. Sounds like everyone's pretty healthy, but if you have something coming up, let me know. We're going to start with a warm up. a little bit of floor work as usual, find a bit of space. And let's just start with some cat cows. We'll go over the workout shortly. But let's just do our warm up first. Okay, so putting that spine, move, however that feels best. Let's go do 10 or so reps. Once you have roughly 10, don't worry about counting exactly. We're gonna do alternating bird dog. So let's extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Trying to keep your back nice and flat. If I had a glass of water on my spine, hopefully I don't spill it. Okay. You may flex or point the foot. And let's do 10 total. That's 5 per side. Alternating. It's okay if you're still finishing off your cat cows. If balance is a bit wobbly, and that might be for some, or just in general, keep the hands down and just you move the legs, and that can make it a little less wobbly. Once you have 10 or so reps, we're going to come to a standing / kneeling, something where you can move your hands around without hitting anything or anyone. We're going to go ahead and do kind of a shoulder warm up. So hands in a T shape, thumbs are up, and let's just start small. And then just gradually making arm circles bigger. Respect both shoulders. So you might have one that's not quite as good as the other. Once you have 10 rotations, that includes your small ones. We're going to go back to that T shape. Thumb still up, elbow still straight. We're going to go backwards. Good. Once you have 10 rotations with the thumbs up, ish, 10 or so, we're going forward back, swing the arms, just nice and easy. So the elbows can bend. Seeing how far we can bring the hand back while keeping the shoulder behind or in line with the chest instead of forward. Nice and easy. Try and give yourself a hug. Just kind of tap yourself on the back. Good. Okay. And last, but not last, second to last, we're going to go thumbs down. So thumbs pointed down, same thing we did the first time. Elbows straight. And if you get feel like you get a little necky or feels like you have to shrug the shoulder, either take a break or you can drop the hands below 90. Both are fine. Thumbs down backwards is the back of the shoulder. Going 10 one direction, thumbs down the opposite direction. Good. Nice. Yeah, Andre's head of the game. That's cool. We're going to do a bit of rotation as well. So this is one where I'll show you my feet first. I know it sounds like a weird thing too. I'm going to swing my arms back and forth like this. Just kind of swinging like this. My feet, I'm basically going to be, if I'm rotating into this leg, my opposite foot can kind of come off the ground, but my left hip in this case stays pretty fixed. There's an easy, just letting the weight of your arms do most of the work. We're rotating the torso as much as that feels safe. If we have any kind of back injuries, you can be a little more thoughtful. Good. So I know a lot of us have weights, and if you don't, that's okay. So there's going to be weighted options and unweighted options for pretty much everything. If anybody wants to weight their push-up, congratulations, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I think most people are pretty happy doing that with their body weight. We're going to start with inchworms. This is where we just slowly bring our core temperature up. We're going to start, I'll show you the full movement. Basically, far away, so they can't be on screen here. Touch your toes or the ground, bending your knees as you need to. Walk out to a plank shape. You can do a push-up of any kind. You can do a full push-up from the knees, or you, whatever it is, walk your hands back towards your feet. You may stand up or not. These take a while, so just go ahead and complete 5 reps. And the push-up can be as wormy or as warm-uppy as you want. Don't feel like you have to struggle.
Are we walking out into a push-up every rep?
Correct, yes. Yeah, good question. Yeah, sometimes we'll just do push-ups, right, just like in place. And you'll walk out once. In this case, the goal is to change directions, up and down, up and down, up and down, 5 times. These are much nicer than burpees in some respect, because they don't get your heart rate so high. But puppies, when you're on the ground, you are a prime candidate for face licks. So. Good. Once you have 5 or so, I know these take all but a different, we call it different amount of time for everybody. You can bend your knees too. So if your legs are not straight as you try and reach the floor, that is fine. Okay. So speaking of, let's talk about our push-ups. We're just gonna go to the floor here. Your push-ups can be assisted for these. So I wrote in the chat, and this will be posted if you're watching on YouTube, 4 sets, okay, of 8 single leg Romanian, so RDLs stand for Romanian deadlifts. We've been doing these the last few weeks anyway, but we'll go over them again. And this is 8 per leg. Okay, so if you have an unsteady leg, for me it's my left side, definitely. It is okay if you start on the unsteady side first. Common sense is going to apply. Don't fall over. You can put your foot down, just like in gravel biking. No one told me this one. And then 3 to 5 push-ups. We're adding a pause here. So the pause is going to be at the bottom of the push-up. Of course, you could pause at the top if you want to pause at the top. So let's start with everyone's least favorite thing, the push-up, or Meg's favorite movement of all time. So when we're doing our push-up, right, the width of your hands is kind of up to you, wide, narrow, whatever. I don't mind what you choose, but I do want your shoulder to remain behind your pec or behind your chest. So basically you have to roll forward like this. It's too wide or too narrow. Okay, we can adjust it a little bit. So when we're doing this, we can use the knees. Okay, we have a few options. We can go start a plank, right? And when you need to, just come down to the knees. Butt squeezed. We're going to hold 1 second, press back up, maybe back to that plank. If you're a big fan or you're fine doing a full push-up, we can go ahead and do our full push-up, still holding at the bottom, okay, actively, not laying down, okay. Press back up. And to kind of 1 step further, if you're like, push-ups are pretty good for me, don't feel so bad, you can lean forward a little. So this makes it harder. So instead of having my shoulder over my wrist, having it slightly in front by a couple degrees can make this, I'm not sure I'm going to make this by the way, but here it's slightly farther forward and then press back up. Okay. Either way, whether you have your knees bent, your traditional push-up, or slightly forward, I want a butt squeeze and a pause. Let's just practice 2 reps. Just see how we're feeling about this. See how we feel in our push-ups. And if you need to drop to the knees, that's fine. Something soft underneath your knees is okay. Or Maxine's doing an extra job of elevating the push-up. If you have that option, you might elevate yourself, right? Good. So 2 to 3 reps just to feel this out. In the working sets, we're going to be doing 3 to 5. Okay. Your single leg deadlifts are your second movement this morning. You may use a dumbbell or some sort of weight. Otherwise, unweighted is perfectly fine here. If you're going unweighted, I encourage you to lift the back leg, so that can kind of make it more challenging, more of a balance exercise. If you're not, or you're weighting it, sometimes keeping the back foot off the ground can feel better. Either way, when we're standing here, single leg deadlifts, I'm on 1 leg, obviously, hence the name. I'm going to send 1 hip back. My back foot, that's this one, can lift or not. So I'm unlocking my left knee This goes backwards. And then if I want to, maybe I lift the leg, balance, bit questionable. And then I stand back up. Okay, I know the couch behind me, but you have room. If you have a weight and you want grab weight, sometimes we have it in the opposite arm, opposite leg. All right, same idea. Knees is in line with the toes. You can do the opposite. So you say loaded arm, loaded leg, or 2 weights. Okay. But this is all about the standing leg and that butt cheek and hamstring. So let's go ahead and try. Let's just kind of roll into round 1. Let's try 8 reps per leg. If you're lifting that back leg, you're more than welcome to keep the foot down. If you tend to be on the yoga side of things, people tend to want to lift the back leg. That's okay too. Yeah, good. Nice. So either balance exercise, loaded, or both are great. Your front knee, your standing leg should be soft. So no locked joints, okay? And again, if you like, you're more than welcome to kind of have a bench or mantle or table next to you. I feel like balance is a factor here. Good. Everyone's really solid here. Maybe perhaps Meg turn that back foot down towards the floor instead of out. So square off the hips. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so there's the instinct, and actually that's one I can see Meg's foot. The instinct is want to kick the back foot out and rotate that hip away. You turn your back foot, the one that's lifting or the ones behind you, down towards the floor. So from turned out to neutral. We can kind of balance out the hips a little bit. Might make it harder at first. Once you have 8 reps per leg, so that's 16 total, but that's between both legs. Go ahead and let's do 3 to 5 push-ups. Yeah, and it's okay to notice a wobbly leg, yeah? And that's, or a range of motion difference. So don't feel like you have to reach the same range of motion on each side. Nice. Maxine, was your 20-pound kettlebell a gift to yourself, or did Santa gave it to you? Naturally.
Yep.
I remember when I learned, or I learned that Santa wasn't real, and talked to my dad. I was like, "Is Santa real?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. How do I answer this question?" And eventually he didn't lie to me, and I was very disappointed with him. And then we got over. We're okay now.
That last year, Kirstie.
Is that, are you, yeah.
Kidding.
One year, my parents used to handwrite the notes. I'm like, wow, that looks like dad's handwriting. My dad's like, oh. And so the next year it was typed.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, well done, Dad. I didn't catch on just yet. I think it was the year after the typed message, but nonetheless. All right, y'all, we're going to do this 3 more times. So these single leg deadlifts and the push-ups can be at a pace that you feel that you can manage. This should be more of a skill / warm up. If you have the options in theory in a gym, or if you have a stocked pain cave, you could probably add weight to this progressively if you wanted. If don't have that option, we can just start to add some, add some complexity if we'd like. So we're doing 4 total times that we did at least 1 together. I think some of us are already in round 2. Okay. And then just give me either thumbs up on your screen, or you can tell me verbally when you've done 4. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome. So Andre's actually going back into like a down dog. Yeah. And you are more than welcome to kind of, when you're doing your push-ups, take a break. It's almost like you're kind of stretching by bringing your hips back above your head. Just to take a break. This is fine. Just take a quick break, a stretch, or coming down to your knees. But do try to keep your butt squeezed and your chest open while you do your push-ups. Yeah. Take your time. Yeah, good. Once you've sent your hips back behind you and your knees already kind of naturally bends, given that it has a soft knee bend to begin with, the knee can continue to bend. Okay, that's okay. The trick is not to bend the knee first. Nice. So 8 per leg and then 3 to 5 reps. I would say I encourage you to start with 5 and then slowly decrease your volume. And your feet may come back together, so you don't have to like hover off the ground. You can come back to a standing position each time. Good. Nice. On the deadlift, try not to rotate the hips. So the hips want to stay just kind of looking at you dead on. So no rotation or turning of the hip. If that affects your range of motion, that's okay. Let it limit your range of motion for now. Rotation's wonderful, but we're gonna work on anti-rotation first. Yeah, good. All right, getting serious. Maxine sweatshirts off. It's business. Yeah, that's what we're doing push-ups for, so we can flex. It's not the only reason, but it is a good reason. Yeah, so you can play with where you grab your weights. Sometimes people like to have it on their loaded leg and some people don't. Personally, I find it easier to have, I'm working on my right leg's my working leg. I like to hold my left hand. But that being said, I have clients who prefer the other way around. So it's less of a right or a wrong in what you find to be more or less challenging. And sometimes balance in and of itself is plenty hard. So you don't necessarily need to add anything. Yeah, good. That pause at the bottom should be active, so meaning we're not laying down, we're just hovering off the ground or away from our bench or elevated surface. Good work. Yeah, the airplane arm's a good idea, that kind of counterbalance arm. Good. Nice job. It's going to sound silly, but if some of you, and you all are doing a great job with this, but if you find that balance is something that you struggle with, I definitely do. I find even like, so for example, even this is an empty water bottle, even grabbing something like flexing my hand makes just like neurologically loads that side of my body. And it sounds a bit silly, but even just carrying an unweighted object, like physically grabbing something, can help me balance myself out. It's not always the case. But, or even just like making a fist. But I think grabbing feels more organic for most people. It can be a way to go if that's something you want to play with. Good. So let's do this. I'm going to have whatever you're working on. So that could be your push-ups. That could be your Romanian deadlifts. Just finish off both legs if you're doing Romanian deadlifts. And we'll kind of just pause and kind of check in, see how we're feeling so far. It's okay if you didn't get through all 4 rounds. You got through like 3.5. No big deal. Just make sure you do both legs. Okay, that's going to be the key here. Just to be clear, the primary difference between a Romanian deadlift and let's say a traditional deadlift is in a traditional deadlift, you're assuming you're picking the weight up off of the ground. So it's from the ground up. So rep 1, right, is going to be dumbbells in hand. Assume it's on the ground. It's going to be from rep 1 is here to here. Okay. Romanian deadlifts start from the top or start from a standing position. So it starts from, I basically have to deadlift. So rep 1 is now here to here. So that's kind of the first difference. The second difference is the range of motion. The implied range of motion of an actual deadlift, like, you know, groceries, whatever, is again, you're picking it up off the ground. Romanian deadlift is, I'm going to go as far as my hamstrings and hips will permit me to go, right? Or my back will let me go. So you're not implied to touch the ground on a Romanian deadlift. You might see it. If you look up on the internet, people have trained that range of motion to touch the ground, but you don't have to. Okay, so if you see RDL or Romanian deadlift, I don't need your kettlebell or dumbbell or water bottle to reach the floor. That is not implied. If we get to deadlifts, I'd love to get to proper deadlifts. Then we'll say we want it from the ground or an elevated surface, depending on what you're lifting, right? Okay, so excellent work. Our kind of working sets today, right? Kind of a solid primer. We have 4 more sets, a lot of 4s today. I've written either, again, 8 per side. We have goblet lunges. I'll talk about what goblet means. And slash, this is an or, not an and, a curtsy lunge. So lunges, in terms of weight, we can go unweighted here, can be forward or backwards, just to be clear. I don't mind what direction you choose. I think it's a matter of choice and taste. I tend to reverse lunge. It's not a right or a wrong. However, when you're lunging, I do want your knee and ankle to be stacked. So I do want this relationship with your foot. So knee, ankle, not knee, ankle. Yeah. So if the knee's inside the big toe and this starts to kick in, right? Or conversely, you're overcorrecting, big toe comes up and you're out here. This should be in line, okay? Knees over toes is fine. Knees over toes is not fine. Okay, at least not for now. So let's practice just to make sure we feel good. 5 reps per leg. Again, reverse or forward lunges. I don't mind which you choose, but let's do 5 reps per leg. And then just like the single leg deadlifts, if you want a bench or something to hang on to while you do this, that's fine. So stepping backwards or forwards, back knee may touch the ground, does not have to touch the ground. If you need something soft behind you, if you're going backwards, I recommend planting your foot first. Feel balanced, then start to go down. You do not have to do all at once. Okay. So this, in the workout today, we're going to be doing 8 per side. So I'm expecting you to do 8 on one leg before switching to 8 on the other. The goblet just implies you're carrying a weight in front of you. So this could be your, I don't know, your dumbbell, kettlebell, sack of books. I don't care what it is, right? But it's going to be in front of your chest. Same principle. Okay. Again, forward or backwards. So I'm going backwards. It's here, right? I'm going forwards. It's here. Okay. That's all that means. That's just loading your lunge a little. Option 2. This is great if you are looking for more of a side butt, sort of glute med. This guy. right? It's basically going to be a lunge backwards, but we're going to bring my foot slightly behind the other. Okay, so same rules apply. So instead of going back and being, I don't know, hip width, I'm going to go behind, so just slightly behind, and my range of motion might vary here, and balance. Right, you come back standing, and this gets more of your hip, side butt. And if you want to add weight to this, you can, but let's make sure the knee feels good about this first. This can be a little more knee if you have a cranky knee. This can feel good, or it can make a little cranky. Let's try, just give it a shot. 5 reps per leg. Crossing that leg over as much as you're comfortable, but at least behind you, if not slightly past that heel. All right. So this is a little more kind of solidly lateral hip. Okay.
Do we alternate or just one leg at a time?
Good question. Let's not alternate. Let's go non-alternating. Let's go 5 one side, 5 the other. Just like we're going to be doing in the workout today. Yeah, good. So adding weight to any of these is fine. Also taking weight away from any of these. So whether you're lunging linearly or having a slight drop of that back leg, they're both great. Okay. And it's okay to change your mind halfway through. I'm just like, you know, it's not for me. Thank you very much. So either way, we're doing 8 reps per side, weighted or unweighted. Okay, that's movement 1. Movement 2 is going to be a side lying clamshell. It's a lot of words for a very simple movement. If you have a band like Meg has, these little guys, that's great. If you have anything bigger, that might be a little intense, but essentially you're going to be side lying, hence the name. So I look relaxed, right? My hips, how do I show you this, are kind of slightly behind my shoulders. And as I push into my elbow, push in my bottom knee, I'm going to squeeze my butt. This knee automatically opens for me. I have a hard time keeping the knees closed just as I'm tight in the hips. But we're going to go ahead and practice. When I'm here, my shoulder, my hip, and my knee are all making a nice diagonal line. Okay. And then I set my butt back. Let's just go ahead and practice 3 to 5 reps. It is okay if you're out of picture. If you have a band, it's just going to add a little resistance, right? We're just going to practice a few reps. More kitties. And I would go potentially, oh my God, the temperament test. I think this one wins, just like, okay. I would go above the knee personally. You can go below. Okay, that's fine. Again, we're doing 8 reps per side, right? And then last, but finally not least, either we'll say 30 seconds or we'll see how many reps you get in 30 seconds of what I call tall to short plank. So basically you're in the top of your push-up position. So 1 rep is going to be from top of your push-up down to your elbow. That's 1. Back up. We reset for another 1. Widening out your feet can make it a little bit easier. And if your hips shift around here, that's totally fine. So let's keep it simple. Let's make it 5 reps because we're all going on different timings. Okay, so 8 per side on your goblet lunge or curtsy lunges. 8 per side, the clamshells, and then we'll go 5 reps on the planks, plank ups. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to add weight, take it away, whatever else, or adjust volume accordingly. I know getting in the band will take a second. And for those getting into bands, it's more dangerous getting in and out than actually doing an exercise. So just, you need to take a seat. It's okay to do it seated. Let's go ahead. If you're going to grab a weight, let's grab a weight. Otherwise, 8 lunges per leg. Let's not alternate. Stick with 1 leg for 8 reps. Or if you're going curtsy, we're going to drop the leg back behind the heel. Okay. When you're ready, my friends, let's start round or set number 1. If you are doing, I know we have some floor work, so don't feel like you have to adjust your camera angle for the floor work unless you want some feedback on it.
Kirstie, was it reverse lunges or curtsy lunges?
Yeah, or so basically the lunge, if you're doing a traditional lunge, directionality is, I'm agnostic, let's put it that way. Whatever you're more comfortable with. If you're doing curtsy, it has to be backwards. I don't know if you could do it forwards.
No, but it's either or, right? We're not
Either
doing
or. Yes, it is
regular
not
lunge.
it's not an and.
Okay,
It's a slash, not an ampersand. Good question. Also good clarification. Don't do both unless you want to. From there, we have the sideline clamshells. Again, 8 reps per side. You can just roll over as well when you're done. So don't feel like you have to face the camera the whole time or the person you're working out with. At the top of that clamshell, you want to keep the shoulders stacked, so no rotating that top shoulder down, right? If you want, sometimes people just like to keep their hand on their hip. It just kind of gives them something to do with this hand. But we're trying not to drop the shoulder. So we need to hand on hip, whatever you want to do with this top hand. Both are great. So tall to short planks, basically you're going from a tall plank down to your elbow plank, back up to your tall plank again. Okay, so good. Which I completed. I know I wrote 30 seconds in the chat. We'll make it 5 reps. We'll see how that's starting to feel. We can add volume later. We're going to do a total of 4 rounds, resting as needed between reps or even between movements. Little caveat on the plank ups or tall to short planks, make sure you're breathing. Try not to hold your breath. 5 reps is not that many, but it's enough. Good. Good. Nice job with the non-alternating lunges, whether you're going traditional, forward, backwards, or a slight drop of that back foot to make it a curtsy lunge. There you go. Just like anything else, find your balance before you start to descend into your lunge. Good, Risa. It's okay. So Risa, go ahead and keep the weight. So you're kind of forward on your front leg. Go ahead and more 50-50. Yeah, you can balance. I know you've done split squats before. This is where you can kind of, between both feet, pretty balanced on that. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. So you might feel more in your hamstring and your butt, less on your knee, we hope. Good. And yeah, respect your range of motion. If you have some knee stuff going on or an old knee injury, that's definitely me. I definitely kind of cater to what my right knee tells me. Nice. Good. Nice. Nice. So yeah, you can think you're gonna, as you're doing the sideline clamshell, if you're facing the screen, you're facing me. You're gonna peek your hips up and squeeze your butt to bring the hips towards the screen, right? You're from a zigzag shape into a straight line. Nice. And when in doubt with the lunges, if you want to control your range of motion more, whatever leg goes behind you, squeeze that butt cheek first. Open up that back hip, even if you're stepping forward. And that can just keep that range of motion a little more controlled. If you're feeling a little bit sensitive or sensitized, a little painful. Yeah, good. Nice job. Good. And those plank ups might get a little bit, or the tall to short planks. So you have the hips are shifting around as you do this. Yeah, get more comfortable with those lunges. Good. If you're a ballet dancer, this curtsy lunge should feel pretty natural to you. It's been a few
Like I'm
days.
back in ballet class.
Yeah, except without all the shaming. It's nice. Actually, I was never ashamed of ballet, but I was always a bit of a beanpole, so I guess I wasn't really. I was never gonna make it anyway. That's fine. Weight training's better for you anyway. Nice work. And we're kind of all rolling at our own pace here, and that's fine. I will say when you do finish 4 rounds, just either have a seat or look like, I would say look bored, but definitely look rested, like you're taking a break, an extended break. Good. On the sideline clamshell, push through that bottom elbow, right? So you get the lats and the underarms to kick in a little bit. Opposite hand on your hip if that helps to keep the shoulder open, chest open, and drive to that bottom knee if that feels okay. If you have a band, you might have to push up with the top knee too. Nice. If you want to add complexity on, you can hold it above your head. I don't know. I know it's a small change plate, but overhead can make it more interesting. Just make sure you don't fall over. You're looking for complexity. Nice job. Everyone seems to be doing really well here, but if you ever get dizzy or for whatever reason your vision's getting smaller, go ahead and just take a knee. You're just take it easy. Especially if you're already down near the floor. Nice job. Nice. So we're finishing off our tall to short planks or plank ups. I call them the same thing. Nice. I know TMT has a pretty, I would say, diverse range of kind of availability in terms of like people have like a full-on gym and some people have like a living room. So as we're going through this, and this goes to my people on YouTube as well, if you want to add weight and you have it, great. If you need to do more less loaded movements, as in less weighted, just reach out to me on Slack and we can adjust things a little and kind of accommodate what you have at home. Or if you have access to a full-on gym, I can give you barbell stuff too, but I don't know who has that. So we're gonna go ahead, cool down a little bit. I know as core temperature comes up, we start cold and then we end up sweating like crazy. If it makes you feel any better, I do these workouts too. So I'm not just like, ding, surprise. We'll see what happens. For this next piece, we're just gonna roll out, just a little recovery. We have 10 minutes. So we're gonna, in the last 10 minutes, cooling down. You may have a foam roller or a ball kind of thing, or if you don't have any of that, that's cool too. So we're going to go through kind of the non-equipment version and the equipment versions of these. So let's go first and foremost. We don't need the equipment for this one, so that's good. We're going to be on the floor a lot, Maxine. So just heads up if you want to either use your ears or bring the camera down. We're going to go ahead and do shin boxes. So that's this one, right? So I'm seated upright. My feet are shoulder hip width apart. I'm going to drop my hips off to one side. So I'm on my right hip IT band. I might feel a stretch. For me, it's here right now, personally, but that's each their own. As I'm transitioning to the side, I want my back to stay flat. So I might have to lean back. Just gently. And actually, you guys are pretty warmed up. So you actually might feel pretty good. But I'm feeling a little stiff, and that's okay. So the idea here is you want a gap between your heel and your knee. We're not at a proper 90-degree angle necessarily, but we don't want to be like overlapping either. Something in between. And so for most people, that's about shoulder width. It's a pretty decent starting point. And let's go ahead and just do 10 rotations. When I'm on one leg, my opposite butt cheek is very much off the ground. So I'm not like trying to sit back on both hips. If you scoot, you'll find yourself scooting forward, and that's okay. Let's do 10 total. Or lay down. I see you doing Pallow press, Meg. I see your hand there. Are you doing Pallow presses? Yeah.
Yes, on a ball. I was like, I'm so close to having done all of my PT exercises with this that I might as well finish the.
Heck yeah, I'm into it. Yeah, Pallow presses are fun, although you need an anchored thing and it's a whole, it requires equipment that I definitely don't have at home.
Just a stretch band, a swim band on treadmill, and then I'm on a ball. So
That's great. Yeah, mostly like I would say traditionally, like I can't think of a cat post that I would probably move if I tried. I do it more at the gym, but I hear you. That's great. So the next piece we're gonna do is either our figure four, so that's our stretch here, right, where we're either like seated, right? This could be on a traditional seat or on the ground. The closer my foot is to my butt, the more of a stretch I get. If that's feeling a little easy or you want something more, we can lean back, reach through the knees if you want, right? That's fine. If you have a foam roller or a ball, just to be clear, the smaller your object, the more acute this is going to feel. The bigger, the less acute. Foam roller is also great if you have a foam roller. If you have a ball, we're going to take that hip, right? So, and basically just kind of put ourselves on it and then just kind of roll around. I'm kind of hovering over this so I don't immediately sit on my ball. If it's soft, which I have the luxury of a soft one here, You don't have to worry about rolling over your pelvis or any bony structures. If you have a lacrosse ball or something kind of stiff, be aware of your bony structures. Same idea with your foam roller, okay? You can still very much lean on one side and just kind of, you know, roll all over. But we're going to like basically one butt cheek at a time. Yeah. If you're doing a figure 4 stretch, you can do contract, relax, holds, whatever. Or do more like IT band stuff. Right. So whichever side you're putting the ball or foam roller into, we're going to try and just cross that leg over to get this foot relaxes out. That's not a big deal, right? Just going for this sort of lateral hip. If this is problematic, you can even just do sideline and just put, it's a brave choice, but you could put something here on the side of your hip and then just sort of sit on it and then just kind of just sit on it. I say just, it's pretty gnarly. So, you know, choose your own adventure. But they're both great. Right. And of course, make sure you do both sides here. So generally we do about a minute per side, maybe 2. It's going to depend on what kind of level of treatment you want. But do try and do both sides, even if it's one side's more effective than the other. Nice. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and foam roll the upper back, because why the heck not? Because we can. So pro tip, if you have a hood on, make sure you put it up, else you'll choke yourself. Otherwise, okay, we're going to go ahead and grab a foam roller. I'll show you a non-foam roller version of this in a second. Okay. And then from here, just gently lift the hips if you want, right? You can go kind of up and down, even side to side. So if you have a long foam roller like I have, you can kind of roll gently to the side towards the edge of your, I don't know, if you had a seam on the side of your body, to that seam. Just going laterally across. Just kind of whatever's feeling good. If it's not feeling good, you're sweating, you're not breathing, and or you're numb, do me a favor, stop. It's not worth it. Okay. That's your body giving you all the signals to maybe take a break. For some of you, you could probably go ahead and roll without supporting the neck. If your neck feels a little stiff, just gently support the head, so you don't feel like you're flexing as you do this. For my non-foam roller athletes, we can do a good old-fashioned child's pose, right? Reaching forward, do an extension, bring up the head, sort of kind of the upper back, why not hands, right? So that's a nice version if you don't have a foam roller at home or a down dog. Nice work, my friends. So I'll be here. I know we have a few minutes. I'm here for questions, or if you just want to chat, because it's good to see all of you. Or if you have anything specific, as in specific, we'll say quadrant, you can say shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, whatever, that's been giving you a bit of trouble. And that could just be in your day to day. That doesn't even have to be in sport. I'm happy to help with that. I wish my cat would do that. She would never allow that. There would be claws in my chest and she'd be like, I will say Andre saw this last week. She sat with me the whole time. She just sat like right there. Just like I couldn't do anything because she was trying to. So she does love me. Andre's seen it. No one else has, but it's true. Y'all, good work. Let me know how that feels. Little sore, your butt being sore, even a little low back fatigue. This next couple of days is fine. What else? I think push-ups will be fine. If you're feeling easy, good with push-ups, we're gonna start to slowly add complexity to them. Who is this, babies? My goodness. Anyway,